Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And what a day of Call of Duty we have just had once again. Finished off with a bang in this OpTic versus Dallas Empire match. The seedings are set now for the Stage 2 Major. Phenomenal couple of weeks of Call of Duty we have had. We're going to dive into it today. Enjoy to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. These were the predictions from the Breaking Point guys over there on the day. Didn't work out too badly for me in the end. Series number 1 was FaZe versus Royal Ravens. I felt like FaZe were going to come out here looking for revenge after they lost to LAG a couple of days ago. It was unfortunate really that London found themselves in their path, but they got absolutely bodied this series. It did remind me, to be honest, of the Los Angeles Thieves Atlanta FaZe series that happened not too long ago, where, I mean, in this one they weren't exactly assassinating them, but it wasn't too far off. Game number 1, FaZe came out with the fire, as I tweeted out right here. 33 plus 33 in the slaying department, 1.67 Masters. He went on like a 14 streak or something in the middle of this. I'm pretty sure that is the longest streak that we have had so far this season. Sean, he has the only positive KD on the side of the Ravens, and Dylan 13 in 34. I'm not sure I've ever actually seen a map this bad in terms of a scoreline. So yeah, unfortunate series ready for Dylan on the whole. We'll have a look at the final standings here in just a second. But I mean, look at FaZe, man. They completely crushed them on the world. Map number 1, Garrison Hardpoint. Not a map you really want to be playing FaZe on. And well, as Damon Carver says right here, it was really good. But I'd beat them if LAG can, certainly. So Carver may be coming back at some point into the future. This is well from Prestinni. I didn't get to see what Alec did, but I'd expected anyway. Not too surprised. As Devon says in replies, he killed more people in one life than Dylan killed in the entire map. That is a remarkable statistic, and well, FaZe certainly looking, well, at least they're trying to look back to form. This is well from Simp in the Search and Destroy. It's relatively close early on. I think Ravens went up 2-0 or something. FaZe clawed their way back into the map, and Simp has a great round here. He takes down Dylan off the bomb. Dylan doesn't check his corners. Simp kind of waits to see if another guy's going to run out. He then takes down Dylan and finishes off the round with a nice 2-piece as well. So FaZe certainly looking back to form. Unfortunate really that Ravens seem to look so poor in this series that they need to turn up. They looked so good at the start of Stage 2. Felt like this Paul X move might have turned their team around, but doesn't really seem to have had too much effect. Now we look at their last couple of series, having a very difficult time here. But of course, FaZe looking once again very scary in advance of the major, despite their series loss to Los Angeles Guerrillas. And we'll talk about LAG here in just a second. They finish it off in style, a 3-0 sweep, 3-0 in the control as well. I mean, Simp just running riot in their spawn, but honestly, all the players on Atlanta FaZe here just played lights out. And well, Dylan especially had a really difficult series. I think he went 2 in 9 in the Search and Destroy as well. We'll see right here the overall stats, 30 in 63. Not too often you see a guy get a 0.5 KD or less in the Pro League. It felt like the skill-based matchmaking really kicked in here, and FaZe certainly came to play. I mean, look at these numbers. You don't see slang like that too often in a 3-map series. So FaZe completely crushed the Ravens, and as Arcitys says, they forgot we were on the old patch notes. LMAO, GG's. Of course, the new patch coming in after the major does conclude, and we'll talk a little bit more about the patch when we happen to discuss the ILLey versus Scump 1v1 in a few minutes' time here. The second series of the day was once again at the Battle for Los Angeles. These two teams played each other at the major. LAG came out on top in a 3-0 fashion there. And well, they look to continue the story. Of course, Thieves, they had Temp subbing in for Kenny, unfortunately, so I wasn't really expecting them to put up too much resistance in this one. But look at Atlanta FaZe, for example. Even if they had to sub in Sib or something last minute, I'd still expect them to beat a fair few teams in the league on a pretty consistent basis. But well, right here, Los Angeles Thieves really didn't put up much of a fight. I mean, the game number 1, to be fair to Silly, right? These last couple of days against FaZe and also here against Thieves, Silly has been out of control. Game number 1, he has a plus 18, 30 and 12 on a, well, this map number 1 here. Unbelievable scenes, to be honest. I mean, Silly's really been turning it around, and his Method says, "Hello, Silly, I would like to inquire about your coaching program that he has going on." Method just kind of made fun of Silly's coaching program a few times, but well, here he seems to want to get involved, and well, certainly for good reason. Silly has absolutely been going off. As Method says, also JCap making the call for Kenny to actually get into the warm-up because this team was not looking so hot, and well, it continues on in the favour of the Guerrillas. 11 and 3 for Silly in the Search and Destroy. Completely, well, they don't blow him out the park. It was 6-5 in the end on Miami, which was pretty impressive, to be honest, that Thieves took them this close, given Guerrillas actually 6-2 FaZe on this map not too long ago. But I think maybe they were playing a little bit off tactics, given the fact that they didn't really have their full setup here for Los Angeles Thieves, but they do lose the map too regardless, and then they go into game 3 and lose this one as well. Silly goes demon mode, 41 in 15 over the first couple of maps in this series, and the last 5 S&D games for Silly, that round 11 stat says right here, when he went 1 in 6 in one of them. But apart from that, he has been absolutely on fire these last couple of days, and then Thieves end up losing the control as well. A quick 3-0 fashion. And as I say right here, Los Angeles Thieves in stage 1, 4-1 in terms of series count. Los Angeles Thieves in stage 2, 1-4 in series count. Of course, we're going to have questions about this team in the coming days, I'm sure. We never really know how it's going to go at the major. They could make some sort of run. I kind of doubt it's going to happen, to be honest. Will Kenny even be back in time? Serious questions still here for Los Angeles Thieves. A series like this really, like the whole Los Angeles derby, you're meant to be the team that takes that. And, well, especially given the caliber of the players on their team. The fact that I'm pretty sure they failed to win a map so far this season against LAG is not something that we were expecting, to be honest, on this squad. Slasher says, look, GG's, Los Angeles Gorillas. And let's talk about then the final phenomenal series of the day that was OpTic Chicago versus the Dallas Empire. This was pretty damn important for the seeding. We'll look at right to the end of the video. And Scump was selected as the Game Kill feature player, and certainly a deserving pick at that. He had a phenomenal last couple of maps of the series that we are going to dive into right here. Now, the Minnesota guys were hoping that OpTic would win this, because if OpTic won, then they would get the number 1 seed in the pool, and then they would get the bye in the winners bracket, playing the winner of, well, we'll have to look at exactly who they're playing right at the end of the video. Attached says similarly as well right here, hashtag green wall. Rokkr obviously did OpTic a favor yesterday by reverse sweeping the Seattle Surge. They were hoping OpTic were going to be able to do them a favor right here. Now, the game number 1, honestly, it was super down to the wire. Dallas had a big lead early on. Their hardpoint has been so good so far this season, but well, OpTic bring it back. It looks like OpTic are going to close it out, but Dallas make a crazy break onto the final hardpoint and just about close out the map. I mean, it was honestly insane to see the fact that OpTic were in full control here. It really felt like they were going to find a way to close this one out, but Shotzzy gets some kills, 4 dead on the side of OpTic, and well, Dallas Empire take it 250 to 244, so very much a winnable map here for OpTic. And this is where the questions to me started to be raised, right? We've seen a few days ago the fact that, okay, OpTic, maybe when they lose the map 1, is the composure going to be there to bring back a series? Today, they proved that it was, and that's very impressive. That's something you certainly need, because against the best teams in the game, you are occasionally going to be losing game 1s, even if you are really good at Moscow hardpoint, as the OpTic Chicago are. The fact that they're able to come back and put on a great show in this performance is, well, certainly shows great things for OpTic going into this major that is happening starting this Wednesday. Big map from Dashy as well, 30 and 24, and despite getting outslayed, I believe, on the whole, they find their way over the line to the Dallas Empire. But going into game 2, this was when Envoy started turning up, a raid, search and destroy, where honestly OpTic really put on a clinic right here. And it's not a map they've necessarily been spectacular on so far, but they certainly had their moments in this one. Scump had a fantastic 1 versus 2 as well. They kind of lined up for him right here, but in this corner, for some reason, they run around the corner and Scump manages to get the job done to take him down. That's kind of foreshadowing to some of the crazy clutches that we will see here in just a couple of minutes' time. And well, a 6-minute search and destroy for OpTic Chicago, a 6-2 map win. The series is now tied 1-1. So OpTic pretty much run away with this one. Then we go into the game 3, and this was honestly incredible, right? So OpTic decide to stack the points for the first time in a very long time. We saw just the other day, the fact that, okay, they didn't decide to stack the points against Florida, I believe. It definitely came back to haunt them. But right here, you can see that OpTic, all their guys get onto this B point. They stack it up, 3-man stack, and well, not too much the guys on the Dallas Empire can do. They get a lot of kills down, and well, look how quick this point is going with all the lads on the point right here. So phenomenal to see. OpTic have actually figured out how to win controls. They win this round number 1, but then the game number 2, or the round number 2, was absolute chaos. Really, OpTic should have won it. I mean, Scump probably overpeaked somewhat. They had like a 5 versus 4, and it actually goes the way of the Dallas Empire. They get all the kills. It was like 0.3 seconds or something crazy like that on the clock to cap the B point. So Dallas end up going up 2-1, and then in the round 4, OpTic managed to find a way to bring it back as well. So it's a chaotic round, goes all the way down to round 5, and this round 5 was probably the best round of anything Call of Duty related I've seen in a very long time. I haven't seen anything this intense, and well, at least in recent memory, that so far this season, certainly. This was an absolutely incredible round of control, and it finished off in incredible fashion. So pretty much what happened, the lives were super close, super intense the entire way, and then there was a 4 versus 3. Dallas had 4 men up, OpTic just had 3 men left, and Dallas only decided to put 1 man on the point, with the reason that, okay, we're going to hold our setup, we're going to have 1 guy on the point, and you're going to run into us, and we're going to take the gunfights. And that's effectively what happened. OpTic were forced to come in at some point, but the trades came through. I mean, Crimsix got 1 kill, Scump traded it out, and they found themselves in a 1 versus 1, Scump versus ILLey for the game. Game 5, or not game 5, but game 3, round 5, Scump versus ILLey, 1 versus 1. It doesn't get too much better than this. ILLey had to cap the point, he had 3.4 seconds left, super intense. Scump's kind of waiting for a gunfight right here. He ends up having to take the engagement, and ILLey ILLey manages to clutch it up with the Crick in unbelievable fashion, as you can see right here. This gunfight goes down, and ILLey gets the job done. People are talking about the fact that Scump got first bulletin here. We'll talk about that in just a second, right? But of course, the Crick really does get the job done at close range in this pre-patch format. Unbelievable round of control, as some of the guys are saying right here, blessed ARs, you know, the 60Hz Crick is just way too good, and the ARs players complain, says Zuma, and well, get us back to LAN, please, Lord, says Hitch, saying that, well, this kind of kill was due to the whole online situation that we are in right now. But I'm not really sure it was necessarily easy. That kind of explains right here. Scump didn't land the first shot because, well, the overlay kind of covers the red hit markers from this screenshot right here. Scump's already at 115 health by the time he takes the first shot at ILLey, so technically ILLey did our first shot and manages to close out the fight, but an unbelievable round of control. And from a series where really OpTic should have probably been up 3-0, honestly, they end up actually being down 2-1, and they have to make something work now on the game 4 and the game 5. But Scump decides, okay, I lost that 1 versus 1, but that doesn't bother me at all. I'm going to absolutely turn up here on the game 4, just completely going off over here towards the top lane. They completely crushed TJHaLy Empire here on Checkmate. A very good map for them as well, but OpTic are super strong on this map, and guess what the game 5 is but a Checkmate search and destroy once again. So a game 5 alert, of course. You know, would we have anything else? Last time it was a game 5 round 11 we had between Dallas and OpTic at the major. This time it doesn't quite go that way, and as well, Hitch says here once again, game 5 Checkmate search and destroy. I wonder which bomb site both of the teams will be going to, but OpTic honestly ran away with this one. Envoy has a great couple of rounds early on. Really, Empire couldn't get too much together, and Scump towards the end had an absolutely phenomenal 1 versus 1 here against Shotzzy. It really felt like Shotzzy should have found a way to close this one out. I think it was a 1 versus 2. You see Scump gets a couple of shots in, gets a couple more shots in, and Scump goes for the rechal, completely destroys him, and well, gets very hyped indeed. I mean, for good reason, certainly. Scump, after losing that 1 versus 1 in the game 3, to turn it around like this and have a great couple of last maps to help close out the series was very impressive indeed. And this young gun Shotzzy, Scump's trying to show him that he certainly still has the talent to compete with these young up-and-comers, and well, he gets the job done. As EasyMax says, Scump with the revenge. The man is twisted right now, and well, they close out the series as well. So 3-2 to OpTic over the Dallas Empire. Certainly some good revenge on them for the defeat in a very similar series at the major. And well, clinical, as I say, in Search and Destroy, Scump had a phenomenal series, and honestly, they probably could have won this series 5-0, as I was talking about. Those couple of maps arguably could have gone their way. So this is how it looks like for the major then. Stage 2 winners bracket round 1. That's going to be OpTic versus Toronto. The winner of that is going to play FaZe, and then Dallas versus New York on the other side. That already is an absolute banger of a matchup, to be honest. Clay versus Crim every time is always good, and the winner of that will play up against the Minnesota Rokkr. So absolutely remarkable scenes. As Dashy says right here, great way to finish out the week. GG's to Empire, always a great series against them. Dashy had a great standout series as well. Back to form, certainly. And as Octane says, almost 100,000 viewers for a regular season match. Very impressive indeed, gearing up nicely for the major in just a few days' time. Some final series stats just to finish off the video. Very impressive indeed. Dashy with 98 to finish off the job. Green all across the board for the OpTic guys. Very impressive series from them. Looking very good once again for the major after that horrible week 2 that we talked about a couple of days ago. Intrigued, take your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. I know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.